let me maybe go from a little different angle, and that is one of historical in nature. And I'll go back, I won't go back to all my years, but I'll go back to 1984 to 87. 1984 to 87, Francis, where are you? You were buying co-ops like crazy, right? 1984 to 87, I was selling to you those co-ops. And the reason I sold, and I'll let Francis explain why he bought, but the reason I sold was that the numbers that I was being offered as a multifamily owner of property were so crazy that I couldn't justify them from a cash flow point of view. And that word cash flow will be emphasized multiple times. They were sold at cap rates that only made sense for co-op converters to buy. And so, you know, we sold a very large portion of our portfolio between 1984 and 1987. Fast forward to, by the way, the Tax Simplification Act, as accountants in the room here, of 1986 had a profound effect on our industry that our industry didn't really appreciate for a number of years. It basically caused some serious problems to our industry. The flip side, turn 180 degrees and look at post-1987, 88, 89, and you felt like it was a falling knife. You had to basically, where do you buy? The prices kept dropping, and it was pretty scary to buy. But if you sit back and say to yourself, my goodness, I'm buying loans at 30 cents on a dollar. I'm buying real estate literally by the pound. You have the guts to go ahead and do that, and you know that it doesn't come to an end. 1996, we all thought that the internet was taking over the office market and there would be no need for offices anymore. Well, we were able to buy 110 Fifth Avenue for $100 a foot, and today we're approaching rents of $100 a foot at that building. So you have to look at patterns and understand that everything shouldn't, you know, you don't throw out the baby with the bathwater, whatever. I don't say my expression's right, but you get the idea. And don't exaggerate in either direction. 2004 and to 2007 looked very much like 1984 through 1986 to us. You know, every time there's a different cause for a recession, but 2004, 2007 was frothy, just as today the times are frothy. So again, we stepped out of those markets by 2007, and we had sold like 50 assets in that market and waited for the downturn again. Next downturn, we bought land. We bought land in New York City for $100 a buildable foot. We bought land in Florida for $10 a buildable foot, and that candidly sustained us through the current times where we built on those lands. We built a couple thousand apartments in, you know, in New York and in Florida because we owned land at a cheap price. So what I'm really saying is that patterns, you look for the patterns. Be objective. Don't follow the herd. You know, most people in our industry are, you know, it's a nation of sheep to some degree. We're herd mentality type players, and what everyone else is doing, we get comfort in that, and we do that ourselves. Don't do that. Sit back. Let the cash flow dictate whether you should be a buyer or seller. If you can figure out a way to stabilize at a number that you're satisfied with and you have the capacity to carry it, go for it. But if you don't, then sit back and wait for better times. There are storms, there are clouds in the sky today. We're building Amazon 2.5 million square foot distribution center an hour and a half from the city. I like Francis's approach of buying retail in a down market, but I'm also candidly very concerned about it. You know, a 2.5 million square foot distribution center will do such volume that it's almost unimaginable how much volume a building like this can do. So I worry about that. I worry about the fact that office use, for example, you know, we started a decade ago with needing maybe 225 square feet per person. That dropped to 160 feet. It's now dropped to 100 feet per person. And if you go to the co-working model, it's down to 60 square feet per person. That creates a huge overhang of office space. I think the New York Cities of the world will survive that just fine, but I do worry about that in some of the other markets. Also, we landlords in the office arena like to have 10, 15-year leases. But when you have as many startups as you have today who don't want to commit to 10 or 15-year leases and want to commit to 2 or 3-year leases, we have to adapt our way of thinking. So there are changes that are occurring that I think we have to be aware of when we make our decisions. So we're not that comfortable, frankly, investing in this market. We, we've taken, again, quite a few chips off the table and are waiting. We are feeling very comfortable investing in the debt stack. So we invest, we like debt a lot more than we like equity right now. So we've invested heavily in debt, and we'll actually are starting a platform in that arena like some others that have already played in that arena. We think that's a good place to play, and frankly will position us well for the next down cycle. And we're candidly expecting a down cycle, and we're just fine sitting around waiting for it. We're a lean machine. We don't have to feed a lot of mouths. So it's a family business, as was said before, and we're here for the long haul, and we want to be well positioned to take advantage of the next downturn.